everybody. Welcome to Pillow Talk with Paul Goneau. Today my guest is comedian Dimi Kolovopoulos.
What's up?
Welcome, brother.
Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for being here, dude. Thank you for being here. How long have you had this stash?
Probably about a couple years now.
Yeah?
Yeah. First week I had it, everyone hated it, including me.
Mm-hmm.
And then this captain boat guy that I truly respect and love was like, listen, man, never get rid of the stash, and I've just never gotten rid of it ever since. Yeah. So yeah.
So what made you get it?
I was
If you didn't like it initially.
It was a joke. It started off when I was every year, me and a few buddies, we'll rent a boat and we'll go around the islands in Greece.
Yeah.
And we had like a pact that everyone would have a mustache for the boat, and on the day of us getting the boat, it was just me that had the stash.
Okay.
So I was just the only dickhead. I
Solid.
looked awful, but then it grew. I don't even know what it would look like to not have hair on my upper lip at this point. I look at old pictures and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, we're still rocking it. I'll probably
I love
get bored
that
soon.
shit. It's like, guys, you gotta own it from then on, and then they can't say anything.
Yeah.
It's like, and it suits you very well, man. I just recently.
Yeah, you got some foliage.
Yeah, I got it. It looks a little weird now because it's growing out, and this is something that I'm gonna have to get used to. Like, I don't even have like proper facial grooming shit because I just I let it grow and then I shave it off.
Yeah.
And like I got it lined. I probably did it about a month ago. Is when I started doing it, and just got my barber to line it up. But I gotta get like the proper shit. Like I'm digging it. My girlfriend.
Is it rough on her? She's getting used to it?
You know, it's I feel like it's like the opposite right now. I honestly did it as a joke as well. It wasn't anything as funny as you, but I just kind of, she wasn't here and I was shaving, and then I just kind of left it to just, I was originally going to shave it off. I just did it to my lady and I was like, oh, what do you think? I'm keeping it, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, you know what? It doesn't look too bad. You look more mature. Like, I feel like I could trust you more. Like, we have a fucking kid.
Yeah.
It's a little weird thing to say, but initially I didn't really like it. And I don't know. I'm starting to like it. I feel like I'm going to spend some money.
Keep it, man. You look great.
Yeah.
I don't even need much shit. Like, I have a pair of scissors, and I'll trim like the bottom part a little bit every now and again.
Yeah.
And I got like a machine for the sides, and that's about it. And I'll shave underneath my neck, the 2-finger method, and then you're good to go. You're right, man. You look rugged. You look great.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I felt like I looked the same for so long, dude.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, it seemed like the easiest thing. And I don't get a lot of facial hair, dude. Like I really don't. I get a lot of like neck growth, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really do much outside of the mustache.
Too much. Yeah.
I've
been through all variations of facial. Like, I started growing early. Like, I started like legit shaving at 13 years old.
That's fucking wild.
13 years old. So like at 15, I had a full on just a full on sheep beard. Like, it was fucking ridiculous. And then you just go through it. And then I went clean shaven for a very long time, and now we're back. We're back on the hair trade.
Yeah, I knew a lot of people and lived in Brampton for like some of my high school years. And like a lot of brown dudes they also grow facial hair really young, and I wasn't actually, dude. Like, I was so obsessed with I don't know if you know anything about pro wrestling, but Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
Back in like late 90s, early 2000s. So when I started sprouting like a little bit of hair, what I did for like a few months was just shave like this area.
Yeah.
Legit. Because that's all I wanted at the time. And now, because everyone's like, you shave, it grows in thicker. That was the idea.
Yeah.
And it did, but now it's like the only thing that actually shows
Start
up
shaving
when it
this
grows.
Like every day and see where
Well,
it takes you.
I feel like I'm gonna have to now because like once a little bit of this, we're talking a lot about facial hair, but
yeah, it's kind of normal when you speak to someone as fucking hairy as me, right?
Like once it gets to this, I feel like the mustache loses a little bit of its oomph. Like, I feel like you need to have. At least for me, you have a lot of hair, so it's like you shave in the morning and it's probably like stubble by the nighttime.
Yeah, it's gross. Yeah. Afternoon. Like, I can shave straight up immediately, as you said, in the morning, And by the time at 6 o'clock comes around, you can see it on my face.
Yeah.
It's fucking there. And then the next day it's just like, great. That's what the fuck is the point of this? Then just let it go. Own it, I guess.
So comedy, dude.
Yeah.
How long you been doing comedy now for?
Jesus. 2.5 years. So just over 2.5 years, I'd say. I think in February, March, March of 25 will be like probably the anniversary of the first time I tried to do an open mic, I'd say.
Do you have like a broken path to comedy, or did you just kind of want to do it and just...
I always wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But I was just too scared. And like when I was a kid, I'd host a couple, like I'm talking 14, 15, I hosted a couple talent shows at my high school, and I just remember loving that feeling more than anything in the fucking world, because people would come up to me like, yo, that was better than the talent show. I'm like, oh, this is the best. Like, and I just savored that feeling forever, and went to college or whatever and did coding and did a lot of shit that wasn't proper, right? And then I kind of just never reminded myself that I could do whatever I wanted in my life. And then I eventually ended up in Toronto. I was like, okay, you have this sort of thing that you always wanted to do. And if I didn't do it in Toronto, I projected myself 10 years in the future. I could feel myself becoming bitter. And I was like, all right, just give it a go, dude. Just do it. And it sucked. It hurt so much when you did it, because I still think I'm pretty terrible, but at that point when you first start, you get that little flicker of laughter and you go, oh fuck, there it is, that's so good, and then you keep going. So
bro, I think you're pretty fucking great, man.
Thank you.
I specifically remember a show that I produced at SoCap, and there was like there wasn't a good turnout. It was maybe like 10 people, and like
I remember that show.
It was a rough scene. There was I think there was like a couple good people on the right that you could like fuck with a little bit, but like for the most part, it fell flat, I felt like. And you were like the only one who actually like crushed. And like when you can do that in that kind of setting, I don't even want to say crush, but I mean, you got laughs and nobody else did.
Yeah, I remember that show. So this is something that I've come to realize very recently. Like if I go on stage or I'm in a venue, it's like where no one, I can feel like there's like a darkness in the room, or like no one wants to be there. And if I go on stage also not wanting to be there, then the audience will pick it up immediately. So regardless, I'm just like, I have to just remind myself, like, I'm gonna have a good time no matter what. Hopefully you guys also have a good time, and if you don't, that's okay, cool, that's fine. But I'm just gonna try and I'm just gonna try and enjoy me being here and sort of appreciating the fact that I get to do this with you guys.
Yeah.
If you don't fuck with it, that's fine. But I'm gonna try and give it a go. I would go up and I'd be like, oh, this sucks, and they'd also feel like this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, you guys don't want to be here, I don't want to be here, why are we doing this? And I would just derail every set I've been on. But I don't know. Now I'm trying to embrace it more, I guess. Enjoy it. I think that's... I don't know much, but I think that's the only sort of sliver of I don't know, trick to it, maybe? I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying. So when you did it, did you know anybody in comedy, or was it just something...
No, I started out with... So I moved to Toronto October 2021, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anyone in the city. I didn't know anything.
That's wild.
Yeah, apart from one guy who also came over for work like a couple months later, but practically knew nobody. Didn't know where to start. Didn't really know how to get into open mics or anything. And my biggest thing initially was I was terrified of the stage, public speaking. Like, I couldn't imagine being in front of people. And then I was like, okay, let me just break into this. And I did stand up one at Second City.
Okay, yeah.
And from there, I remember in the class, people were like, "Are you gonna go do an open mic?" I'm like, "Jesus Christ, we're doing open mics now! Like, what? I'm like, we're still learning. Like, we barely performed or anything." And I was like, "Okay, I guess this is the next step." And started going to open mics. I was still very shy back at that point.
Who was your teacher at Second City or your?
Oh,
I don't even know what they call him.
uh,
Educator.
she was like an older white lady. She's very funny. Leslie? I don't remember her name.
Oh, okay.
Which is fucking shitty because I just saw one of her clips on Instagram like on the way here. She was doing like a mermaid thing. She is funny. I can't remember her name though. That's terrible. I wish I could shout her out. But she was good. I liked her. Yeah.
And only did the one?
I did the one, and then I also did two, but that was just to combat stage fright more than anything. Like, I just wanted to be in front of people as much as I possibly could. As far as the actual, this is how you write a joke, what comedy is. Not to shit on Second City, like, I think, like, I'm really grateful for them, like, allowing me to immerse myself into the stand-up world.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't take much from the actual writing process. I think that happened from just sort of trying comedy by myself, and also, you know, YouTube or reading books or just trying to break up other comics.
Yeah, and it's hard because, like, I also did the first 2 levels of stand-up at Second City, and, like, for me, I felt like, I mean, to what you said, I'll just start off with that, like, I mean, everyone does it differently, and the more you do it, the more you figure out, like,
yeah,
how you do it and what works for you, and, my teacher's name was Jim Macalise, something like that, first. And that one, I felt like obviously you can't go to funny school. No one's going to teach you how to be funny. I appreciated fundamentally learning the structure of, like, quote unquote good jokes, you know, and how you're supposed to do that, but also, like, I saw in, like, the stuff that I was doing that, like, it didn't always work out that way, and I had somewhat like my Jim, he was always just telling me to, like, pick something, like, 'cause I would have, like, I don't know, a 2-minute story, you know, with some jokes just shoved in, and then I would just have, like, a one-liner or a couple one-liners, and, like, I just didn't really have, like, my own thing because I didn't really want that. I wanted to kind of encompass everything.
Yeah.
And I did appreciate what I learned in the first thing. I felt like I learned way more in the first level. The second level was just more of, I felt like networking.
Yeah,
and I didn't even go to my, like, graduation show for this because there was, like, a concert that I was going to,
really?
and I was like, bro, fucking Mike Shinoda's in town. There's no way I'm fucking, like, no way. Sorry, you know,
That's
have
so
fun.
cool.
Everyone's fucking messaging me the night of. I'm just sending them, like, videos of me at the concert.
Losing
like,
your mind, yeah.
But, like, at that point, I felt like I didn't even really need, maybe I needed, like, 2 weeks of the second level. And then it was, like, good. Once you kind of, like, meet the people and go to a few open mics, and, like, the networking just kind of does its thing, you know? And
it happens organically anyway.
Yeah.
You're hanging out in, like, a fucking basement with a bunch of, you know, other delinquents. So you're
exactly.
Just, like,
Exactly.
Were you doing open mics when you started Second City?
Nope.
As well?
Nope.
How quickly did you evolve into the open mic scene?
I literally think I did my first class of level 2, and then before my second class I had done my first open mic.
Oh.
I had done the graduation show. That was the first thing I had ever done.
Yeah.
And then I bombed, like, a bunch of sets, like, after that. So I felt like I was chasing that dragon for a bit.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? Like, was there anybody, like, when you started out, were you trying to, like, replicate somebody, or did you know like, obviously, I mean, you didn't know exactly. I mean, you're still figuring it out. You've only been doing 2.5. I feel like even people after, like, 10 years, it's like they gotta refigure it out almost, because times change. But, like, what I'm trying to get at is after I didn't really have anything that I wanted to be. There's, like, there's comedians that I find influence me, and then there's comedians that, like, are, like, my favorite, you know? We're gonna talk about, like, favorite comedians after, but, like, they're not really the same.
I know what you mean. Who can I emulate? Like, who can I understand to see, like, oh, I can do that, and I can almost echo a version of them on stage to give me guidance, as opposed to this is my favorite comedian of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did a joke where I told a fellow classmate to like kill himself. The premise was just like he's too sexy for comedy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was basically the premise, and then I ended up telling him to kill himself, and fucking that was like the biggest laughs I got. And then at the end of it, he's like, the next Bill Burr. And I had never thought about anything like that. But probably for like a month, I tried to like write like Bill Burr and like do that kind of shit.
So difficult.
And it was like, oh man, no, absolutely not. And like now I know where I kind of fit in and what I want to bring to the table. And it's so different from Bill Burr. Even though I love him, like it's not...
Yeah. I wouldn't say you're reminiscent of Bill Burr.
Yeah,
like,
not at all.
Like you'll thrive off like the sort of incidental interactions which occur with the audience and you, right? Like you'll have a joke locked in. I'll see you like almost like circling somebody a little bit, and then you'll wait for the right interaction to occur with the audience, and then you're like, oh, this is a perfect jumping off platform for me to execute exactly what I want it to do. Mm-hmm. Which is like that's perfect, guys. I've seen you. I think I've only seen you host, which is at your shows. Which is, I don't know. Did you always imagine yourself to be that guy, or am I getting it completely wrong? Am I fucking that up?
No. It's not even like. I never like. I've taken some months off, and like my podcast. You'll be the second episode back. Like, just took some time off for the summer just to, like, enjoy it with the family.
I get
like,
that.
Producing takes up a lot of time. I have, like, 3 shows. And honestly, like, the last couple of them just weren't drawing. And I was like, oh, I'm just going to take some time off so I don't hate this thing that I actually love, you know? Yeah. But I never planned on, like, starting, like a business or anything like that. And, like, I don't know where it's going to go. Like, the main thing is the performing. I wanted to get into hosting because I felt like in the second level, you do a lot of like you write jokes and then you perform and then you get critiqued and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And you write some new jokes or they pick a topic and whatever. You come back the next week and every week they pick a new host. And I felt like I hosted twice. And the times that I did, I felt like that was when I grew the most. And so I do like hosting. I don't really... Producing is a headache, and it kind of sometimes it takes away from the pleasure of performing.
Yeah, trust me, I get that entirely.
You know, if the shows are good, fucking, it's amazing. But then it's a wave, man.
Yeah. Also depends on like the size of the shows and how much effort and time you put into it. Like we do that show with Thomas, that jazz show, and that sucks the life out of me every single time, dude. Yeah, because the amount of like we pour money into the ads, like we gotta pick the comics, gotta put up the seats, the venue sometimes can be a bit difficult, and
was that Bar Cathedral?
It's Bar Cathedral. They've been really nice to us, really, for the most part, but it's just the more pressure you put into like a marquee event. Even when I'm on stage, I'm still worrying about like, okay, those people in the back don't have seats, they're standing up now, are they gonna enjoy it? Oh, the audio isn't working, like, oh fuck, the band's not really working this time. Like, it's a couple of things that I'm just, my brain will not stop worrying about, so I'm just like, oh fuck, I'm not really enjoying it. And sometimes I get like, the only way I can kind of snap out of it is if I'm like 4 beers deep and I'm like, you know what, all right, okay, fuck it, I don't care anymore. Yeah, dude, which sucks. It's like alcohol.
It helps you. I know, dude. Sucks, I know. I don't want to be that guy. I've talked about this, I think, with I don't know, a few episodes ago. But like, legit, I'm not a big drinker. Yeah, I'm like a smoker.
Yeah.
And oh no, that's fine. But like, I found, I'm telling you, man, like 2-3 shots, and it's like. That kind of stuff does go away. I don't want to be an advocate. Like, I was an alcoholic when I was a teenager, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I had, like, bad addiction issues with, like, other drugs. I'd been, like, clean from that shit for, like, quite a while now.
Mm-hmm.
But, fuck, it does help. But now that I'm driving and I only have my fucking G2, I can't drink anything and drive. Right? So, like, that's all gone. That's been gone since, like, February. And so I'm just, like, raw dogging these fucking shitty shows, you know? And
it's hard, man.
It was just hurting, but, like, I don't know. I'm ready. I have a couple new ways that I'm trying to market the shit. So, I don't know, man. It's a weird thing to navigate. And, I don't know.
I've been trying
I don't
to...
know how long I'm going to be producing for.
Yeah? You think you're...
I don't know.
I think what you did is probably the better approach, right? Take a break for the summer, as you said. Like, make sure you don't start hating something that you genuinely love to do. And then when it feels right and you want to come back to it, you have that fucking... You put some effort in that show and comes out beautifully and you're like, oh, okay, I remember why I like doing this. This is sick. And maybe not as frequently. I guess the frequent thing will help with the brand, with growing the brand and growing the following of people who want to come to your shows and stuff. But taking a break's good, I think.
So you just did like a bunch of like, I don't know, like a tour, right? No,
I wouldn't call it
branded. Wasn't it branded something? Did Thomas branded something?
He calls it definitely not invited.
Okay.
And I'm just there, you know. Like you'd call me his opener. I am effectively. Like we did a show in West Virginia last night, Beckley, West Virginia, 9-hour drive, Friday morning. We got up at like 8 a.m. 9 hours straight to the Dome. We got there, left our shit in the hotel, was at the venue at 8. It's like 7 people there. It was, and they're just like, they're not even there for the show, right? They're there to just drink in West Virginia, right? And I mean, not to stereotype, but it's like, you know, it's the Bible Belt. Every corner has a church or an Arby's, like, and they're kind of there enjoying it. Overall, like, the producer was of the show was quite disheartened by the turnout and the fact that we came all the way down, but it was fucking awesome. We had like, I went to the Sasquatch Museum the next day. I got to see America. Like I'm incredibly European at my core. Yeah. Right. So when I get to see things like this, I'm just like, Jesus, like, oh my God, you can buy a gun? Like I shot a gun for the first time in Charlotte 2 weekends prior. I was just, my heart was raced. I was genuinely terrified.
You enjoyed it? Like, terrified in a good way, like bungee jumping, or terrified like, I need to get out of here?
A little bit, but like, I'm gonna get through. Like the whole time, I was just thinking of like all the atrocities that just come with just having a gun and gun ownership. Like I know exactly where I stand on that politically, but I just couldn't believe. And like outside the gun range, this dude comes out. He's carrying like an AK, like brings it in. His daughter's like on an iPad. Like it's so normalized, right? And then even like this is something about Canada that I'm still not even used to. Like to me, Canada and America, it's just like this. It's a fucking parking lot. The whole place is a parking lot, and it's so like I despise like it's so ugly to me. And that's why if you take me anywhere, I'm genuinely insufferable. Like I'm so pretentious. I won't enjoy the food anywhere you take me. I won't enjoy like. I want like half the time like the seating arrangement's wrong here, like I'm such a dick about it, but I still like seeing it because like I would just watch this shit from Cyprus, this tiny little island I grew up on, and been like, oh my God, they really do have a Trump sign next to an American flag on their lawn, and then next house as like a hat. Like it was just they have like a hat, like you hate your neighbors. I was like, it's straight. It's like a comic book. They're so binary, like. I don't know. I want to see it all, dude. I want to go to a monster truck event. I want to go see you fucking doing the wrestling stuff. Like that stuff is awesome to me. I'm like,
I dig that.
America, I dig Canada,
experiencing things. That's good, man.
Yeah,
that's good. you've traveled a lot. That's something I fucking. That's something I want to talk about in the top 5. Do you want to fucking maybe get into the top 5?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, fucking
Should
hit
we
me.
do that? No, you know what? Because you were saying that, I just looked at my notes and you were talking about, I don't know. I'm like a chef. That's what I do, like 9 to 5. And so, with you just talking about just being insufferable, going to restaurants and things like that, I was like, I wonder what this guy puts on his pizza. Like, what are your pizza toppings?
Pizza toppings?
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for like caramelized onion and chicken. Like, I think that's a really good combo.
With a cream sauce? Or like
sometimes,
just straight tomato?
Yeah. Regardless, it'll work for me. Okay. I definitely need some type of protein on the pizza.
Yeah.
I've always been an advocate. If you go in and you're just like, I just need a margarita, I'm like, you're just come on, man. Like, you're also gonna get vanilla ice cream. They're like, yeah, it's great. And I'm like, all right, dude. All right. I won't get the pistachio. Don't try. Like, I guess with pizza toppings, like nothing too crazy, but I need a vegetable and a protein, and I'm good to go.
Do you cook a lot?
No. I used to. Now I get I get 5 meals delivered a week. Like, they'll come over. It's my dinner Monday, Tuesday till Friday. For lunch, it's like eggs and something like scrambled. I used to cook back in the day, and I like cooking because like comedy, or I like doing something and getting validated by that thing by a group of people. So cooking is like, here, I made this for you. This is, enjoy it or whatever. But now I don't really get any opportunities. I live alone and stuff, so I'm not really trying to impress anybody.
That's fair, man.
Yeah.
That's fair.
What do you cook?
Oh, man.
Where are you a chef at?
I work at Shaw, which is...
Shaw?
It's like a fine, casual steakhouse.
Okay.
Not like 5-minute drive from here. But I've done a lot of stuff, man. I've done like fine dining. I've done like catering.
Did you train for it?
Yeah, I went to college for it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Did you have a love for it growing up?
Yeah, man. Like, I'm like my nana. So like, I'm Italian, and so like I learned how to cook. Like yesterday, I made like a fucking lasagna.
Yeah.
Like a fucking 5-layer lasagna.
Oh, that's awesome.
And like I just learned. My lady's just like, do you have a recipe? Like, my lady's not like that. And she's like, how do you know how much to put? How do you know what you're getting? How do you... And it's just like, I don't know. I really, at this point, like, I don't know. Like, I learned certain things, like, at such a young age that, like...
It's innate to you.
Yeah, I even liked doing it when I was young. I don't know. There's something about... I mean, at a young age, it felt like there was something about, like, independence. And then, like, growing older, my nana passed away, and I was like, I wanted to like replicate a lot of the things that she made, and I felt like I needed to.
Yeah.
I didn't have the palate, dude. Honestly, dude, I went through like a lot of shit, and then like I didn't find like where I am now. Like, I wish I found that earlier. Like, I wish I started chasing what I wanted earlier in life.
I get that. Yeah.
And, like, I was in a really bad way. I did, like, this pre-apprenticeship program, this, like, small thing, and, like, fucking crushed it. It was, like, just a small, like, pre-apprenticeship in a kitchen. And then I got offered, like, some sort of type of scholarship to Humber for 1 year. And there was a bunch of people that got offered it. And they had been doing this program for maybe, like, 4 or 5 years. And our class was, like, we did the best. And then they were like, do you guys want to come back for a second year? And so, like, it really wasn't anything that was planned. It just sort of worked out beautifully.
How do you do the best at cooking school? Is it like MasterChef or something?
Well, you have, like, labs, which are in kitchens. And literally, like, they could be anywhere from, like, making sushi, like, from, like, the rice, everything, to just, like, flip an egg without cracking the yolk.
Oh,
you know? It can be, and, like, different classes obviously have the nutrition and whatever, there's butchery and that kind of shit.
So they're grading you like anything else. They're like...
Yeah, and then there's you're in a classroom and you're learning about, like, I don't know, the danger zone and not passing on, like, diseases and, like, fucking...
Of course, yeah.
wine. There's a wine class, you know, and
Yeah.
like I don't know. There's just like a bunch of shit. But
Did you ever cook something at like university or whatever, or college, where the chef teacher person came up to you and was like, "Yo, Paul, that's amazing what you just
a
did."
few times, but I feel like they're a little extra. Those guys, like they're just really trying to
just being
inspire you know. That's so like sometimes they'll say shit and they'll be a little over the top and it just I don't know. Or maybe that's
like
just the cynic in me. I just doubt anything that anyone says positive about me.
Yeah.
Like I don't know.
You're always trying to find a flaw in what you did, or
absolutely.
like why you didn't deserve it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like I think that's an artist thing. No matter what, like I consider culinary, like when you get to a certain level, it's like it's an art. Because I also feel that way about comedy.
You have to, though.
Like even if there are laughs and stuff, like if I fucking missed that tag, or I think about something that someone in the audience said, and I'm like fucking on my way to my car, and I'm like, God damn it, I should have fucking said that shit, you know?
Yeah.
You just said I'm such an asshole?
Yeah,
have you felt like that? Like,
dude, all the time.
Yeah?
I think 98% of almost every single set I've ever done, I will get off on, maybe not immediately, but it'll occur maybe a little bit later. Maybe I'll hear it back or watch the recording, listen to the recording or whatever, and I'll be like, oh, you fucking idiot. You suck. That was cringy, dude. That sucked. Like, which is, I think is fine. I can see, I'm always critiquing myself in my daily life, and surely that's going to occur in whatever my ventures are, whatever they may be. In comedy, there's like there's a progression. So like you see some of the material when you first started, and you're like, oh my God, this is awful. And then I'm sure I'm going to say that about whatever I'm talking about now in 2 months, 6 months, whatever it is, you know? And then you just, I guess that is some measure of progression, right? You go like, okay, this is better than this, and maybe hopefully in a certain amount of time that will be better than whatever is now. I hope, right? That is always the hope. There's some shit I say that I wrote in my first 6 months though still, so who the fuck am I to talk about it, you know? But critiquing is good. Hating yourself is good, for sure. You can't go up and be like, I'm the fucking best, this is the funniest shit ever. Anyone who has that irrational confidence, part of me is jealous of it.
It's super hard to like a person like that, though, for me. Like anyone who's like fucking, dude, I know this is gonna seem petty, but sometimes I'm petty about shit like this.
Of course, yeah.
Like anyone who like fucking has like, I don't know, 1,000 followers and they follow one person. Like, I ain't fucking following. You could be my best friend. Follow me back, bitch. Like, we're trying to grow. We're trying to... But it's not like, I don't know why that irritates me.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about petty shit.
Yeah. Just spread that negativity around. Yeah. I don't know.
But honestly, I feel like I feel like the asshole on stage thing works as long as you're not an asshole in real life. That's how I feel. I've never considered myself edgy. I don't think I am. I don't even really like people that say they're edgy. I'm like, it's like Kanye saying he's like the best. It's like, oh man, you could have been if you didn't say you were the best. Like, it's like saying that automatically like disqualifies you. Like almost in my mind. I don't know.
You're just being racist now, dude. Like you're just
I actually
like racist. Yeah, same. We can talk about it. It's the best. No, go on. Sorry.
It's the best. I don't know, man. I don't mind Kanye. I don't really like his music, but like, I don't think he's as... I mean, he's crazy, but like any good artist is crazy. I don't think he's as crazy as some people make him out to be.
Yeah. What I do like about Kanye, if you see his old interviews though, like you can see that sort of megalomania is there from the start.
It's building.
It's just like, just mid 2000s. He's just like, he's saying like, I'm my favorite rapper, you know?
Yeah, that's it.
That's so awesome, man. And then like, and then make sure that he's successful in most of the ventures he does, and it becomes like this multi, you know, millionaire and is so culturally relevant. Yeah, that's going to go to someone's head. He's already obsessed with himself. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
So he's going to get more humble? No. The Kanye trajectory was, you could have spotted it from a mile away.
That was like Aziz Ansari. He has a bit about meeting him, and he's like, yeah, when I first met him, I went to his house. He was in the living room, just sitting on the couch, vibing out to beats, and he's just like, these beats are dope.
Yeah.
But he's like, who is it? He's like, oh, they're mine.
Yeah, yeah. Dave Chappelle has a bit where he did it on Conan, where he was hanging out with Kanye, and or something. Again, saying they're in the studio or whatever. Oh no, Dave Chappelle is showing him, I think, episodes of the Chappelle Show that haven't been aired or something, and Kanye's in the room watching them. And
because he was on, actually, no, he was like on one of the first episodes of Chappelle.
Was he?
Show. Kanye was, yeah.
Oh, I mean, for sure. But he goes, Kanye gets a phone call, and he goes, yo, I'm at Dave Chappelle showing me episodes of the Chappelle Show. Why? Because I'm Kanye and I do cool shit. And he shuts the phone. I'm obviously butchering the bit, but it's so fucking
I think
good.
I remember that, actually, dude. But that's just him, you know?
Yeah.
All right, bro. Let's start our top 5 with comedians, since we were kind of talking about a couple there.
Top 5 comedians?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I was thinking about this, and I don't want to say, like the greats and stuff that are kind of in everybody's, like, they're kind of like, you know, for sure, you know, Bill Burr, yada, 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 the Carlins or whatever, the Eddie Murphys and stuff. Like, the people that excite me now are Shane Gillis. I fucking love him a bit.
Did you go see him recently?
I saw him in Miami a year ago. 2 years ago? And he did that Scotiabank thing, which was, I think, the most tickets ever sold, right? Or something in Scotiabank. Yeah, Shane for sure. Jordan Jensen's another one that I follow on Instagram. I think she's
hilarious.
Just deranged authenticity. Like, I love her. Every bit she does, I'm like, oh, that's gold.
I don't even know how I discovered her. Maybe it was just like Instagram shit.
Yeah, she's growing. I think she's doing like a European tour now as well. Like, she's so good. Joffrey Asmus, have you heard about that guy?
I don't know who that is, no?
He's just, like, again, a bit deranged, like, kind of sometimes plays this character of, like, this alpha male, but so ironic, like, and very, like, you can tell, like, he is incredibly intelligent. Like, when he riffs off stage, the amount of topics he's able to bring and talk about is just insane. There's also this guy, you know Josh Jordan?
Nope.
He's like that young black guy from, he's working now for The Daily Show. He does like interviews and stuff. He's like getting incredibly famous right now.
Maybe if I saw him, I don't know.
You'll probably recognize his face.
The name.
So like I don't think I've ever truly seen like straight up stand up in its purest form from him. What he does, like I've been watching his YouTube recently. He does like these hour-long segments that he'll just release unfiltered on whatever is like going on in pop culture. Like he just did one on Diddy. Like straight up 1 hour, the entire audience is engaged. Like I don't know how he's able to put it together so quickly on the spot and do a whole hour on it. But I'm literally getting most of my news from him, like, and how the culture feels about it, because he always gets it, and it always resonates. And like, maybe not from a joke, like I'm not going like, oh, that's a perfect joke. I'm just going, oh no, he's literally orating how people feel. And that is something which I admire. And also it's just like, I'll be like, oh, okay, what's going on with Diddy? Let me just listen to this guy's hour about it and I'll know.
I feel like there was an era of Andrew Schultz where he was kind of like that. Like I don't watch news or anything, but like there was a good amount of time where every time he would turn your phone sideways, like that era.
That was admirable. That type of like back to back jokes, commentary on trending topics, like that people are gonna watch and be entertained by. Like he's very good at that marketing aspect and having his finger on the pulse. I'm not a fan of other things that he does or whatever, but as far as that goes, yeah, that was tremendous for sure. I was thinking about like who else I should talk about, but and I don't love, like, I love him as a personality so much. Stavros Halkias, just to go shout out another Greek, like a Greek guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's the only Greek American I've ever seen that truly, his references to Greek culture are valid. Like, you speak to a lot of like Greek Canadians, Greek Americans, they're like so removed from what Greece is.
Yeah.
Like, they think Greece is my big fat Greek wedding. They think Greece is what Greek people would present to tourists, right? But his references and his sort of love for the culture and how it's been imbued in him is very natural. And plus, he's fucking funny. He's the only podcast of a comedian which I do regularly watch because it is funny, and he has people call in and stuff, and it's always fucking just deranged hilarity. Like, it's so, I've said deranged like 17 times, but I think that's like my, I just think like, I just like shit when it doesn't make sense to me, if that makes it, again, good. Stavros Halkias, I'd say.
All right. I dig it. I like the way you were coming at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I usually just do my top 5. Now I'm trying to think of some people that... Gillis is someone I got into, like, maybe... Like, dude, I didn't hop on the bandwagon. I saw his Netflix thing first.
Yeah.
Or his YouTube thing before the Netflix
Live
thing.
in Austin.
I actually think the YouTube special is a little better.
I prefer the Live in Austin
Yeah.
one. I still like the Netflix one he did, but Austin is fucking... That's how I found him. Incredible. I love that special.
I like the show Tires.
Tires is great.
That was pretty decent. And he was like the best fucking part of it, man.
Yeah. I mean, he wrote it, didn't he? With a couple other...
He definitely... He was some... Yeah. I don't know exactly what he was like one of like the creators of the show.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who else am I... You know what, man? If I'm going to be honest, I don't mind Rife, dude. I thought
really?
it was... yeah, I really don't. I think... I think that... So when I watched... What you were saying, I get the feeling you don't like Andrew Schultz. Not a big fan of his.
It's not that he's just become more and more annoying to me. I don't know if that's...
I don't really know a lot of like his... I'm thinking of like... I think it was Infamous? The one that he was supposed to put on Netflix and then they didn't want they wanted to remove a joke or something.
Where he's wearing that leopard print on stage.
And he did like a little bit of crowd work in it, and I was like, man, that's so fucking... Like, I love the balls to like put crowd work in your special, like to be that confident in... Like, that's amazing to me, and I really like, don't get me wrong, I don't think Matt Rife, like, I get some of the hate, like, oh, he's just at where he's at because he's a pretty boy, and I can see that, and I agree with that, but also, like, I like that he's taking risks, and I thought that fucking, was it the best special ever? His crowdwork special? Absolutely not. But, like, he did it. And I just
did a crowd work special?
Just crowd work, dude. And there was just like a theme. I mean, it was all right. It was okay, but like, it was like the first of its kind. Like, it's very rare you're gonna go down. Like, and I imagine there will be more now. And I feel like you go down the line and people are gonna make it better. But I just thought to take that risk. Like, I like that. I like that he took that risk. His material is... I don't know. I like some of his crowd work stuff. I don't know who...
I agree with that, though, as far as Matt Rife entirely. Like, I think jokes, I'm just like, oh, God, that would bomb in a room in an open mic in Toronto, I think. But the crowd work stuff he's done, like, that's propelled him to stardom, it's inarguably good. Like, he is tapping into something. He is embracing the moment, making people laugh or whatever. And does it help that he's a good-looking guy? Of course. Like, it makes me deeply uncomfortable sometimes, but I do appreciate him for what he is. I used to have say this bit about Matt Rife where someone would bring me up on stage and he'd be like, is Dimi Kolovopoulos? I want to fuck Dimi Kolovopoulos, whatever the fuck. Like, they'd say something like that. And I'd be like, of course, it's never about my jokes. You always just it's always about the sex. And the funny thing is, whenever people comment on how I look, they always say that Matt Rife is shit. And I won't take any shit talking about Matt Rife because that guy walked so I could stumble right now. So, and I would just launch into my material or whatever it is. But truly how I feel about him is that got bad jokes, but good crowd work, and whatever.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we can agree on that. Yeah, no, man, if I wanted to, I could talk, like, I do like Rogan, I like Chappelle, I like a Canadian guy named Mark Forward. These are all, like, you mentioned. Mark Forward, he's Letterkenny, Mr. D, he was on those shows. He's from Oakville. He's a smaller guy, but I really like what he does. Yeah, no, man. Carlin is really what got me into comedy. So
yeah. I watched little Carlin clips when I was a 14-year-old in Cyprus. Yeah.
It was just it was cool because he was the conductor to Thomas the Tank Engine, and that's how that was like my introduction. Like, this guy's, what did he just say? All right, dude. Let's just do travel recommendations because I don't travel, so this one's just for you. Because, like you said, you've been places. So to someone that hasn't been places,
that might be a bit of a stretch. Like I mean, like I grew up in Cyprus, which is like a tiny island, the eastern part of the Mediterranean, and I was lucky enough to study in the UK, and because of my job, I could have traveled a little bit while I was doing that. And Europe allows for travel very easily. So if you're European, you get to go visit a bunch of other countries. As far as recommendations, if you ever want to go, I can really truly just talk about where I've been in Europe and where I've enjoyed. I'm heavily favored towards warmer climate countries that remind me of Greece. So it's like everything is like branching off Greece. Do you have good food and good weather? Mm-hmm. Then I will fuck with your country. Like, that's basically it. I don't know, man. I love Paris. I recently went to Paris again after like a 5-year hiatus. Unbelievable food. And just, they have like a refined, they really, really have standards there for what they want to put on a plate for you, right? Even like you can go to like the dodgiest tavern and you'll be like, oh Jesus Christ, this tartare is phenomenal. Like, it's just the best thing you've ever had. And people call them dicks, but it's like, of course they're dicks. They invented this. Like, they will. Of course they're gonna hate America. Of course they're gonna think you're an asshole. You are an asshole for thinking you're not an asshole. I mean, Greece, I can go through just like wherever you want to go in Greece. I went to Lisbon a couple years ago. Again, I loved Lisbon. Phenomenal. Great little contained town. Food's great. Everyone speaks English too, so you can just hang around. Did comedy in Lisbon too. They got a bubbling scene there. English-speaking comedy. Barcelona I love. I haven't been in years. I went with my ex back in the day. I just remember, because I love eating eggs. If it's before noon, I'm like, give me anything. Always 3 eggs with something. And eggs with calamari there for the first time in my life. I was like, I love both these things, but together on a menu, hell yeah, give that to me. So it was like, obviously Greece, Barcelona.
I love that food plays a role in like all of these things. Like,
man, if I can sit outside and then you can bring me food and a glass of something.
Look at beautiful landscape.
Just people, whatever, yeah. And then I can just have a cigarette and I can just sit there for 6 hours. I'm just content. You know?
Yeah.
I'm literally coming inside. Like, you see those old dudes that are just outside, like playing backgammon or something. I don't know if maybe it happens in Greek town, but like that's what I was surrounded with growing up. That is like, I am just destined just to be that guy. Just cigarette, just hanging out with my buddies, just like saying things are gay or whatever. I'm just heading. It shouldn't be that, but I think I'm just gonna be that fucking asshole drinking ouzo or raki or whatever. What else? That's 3.
All right, let's just give me one place. What's your next place that you're gonna go to?
Oh man,
or that you want to go to?
I'm going to Chicago in a couple weekends, 3 weekends. Yeah, I've heard a lot of cool stuff. You know, I love The Bear, that show. Oh, have you seen The Bear?
I have fucking seen The Bear. I love that show.
Yeah, and so I'm just gonna do like a food tour of all the restaurants that they featured in The Bear and stuff. You know, pilgrimage to Michael Jordan's statue, that thing, and maybe I can get on a show there. We'll see, but I don't know. People rave about Chicago. I feel like, the first half of my life,
the beginning of my life, there wasn't a lot of travel. I've been through Canada, but like I want to do a lot more traveling, like as I get older and stuff, and just financially in a better place. And
Or it's just easier.
yeah.
What's your favorite place in Canada?
Man, I lived on Vancouver Island for a while. And I like the lifestyle out there. I mean, it's rough out there right now. Like things have got, since I lived out there, like it's been quite a bit. But like, well, haven't they like legalized like all the drugs, like every drug? Didn't they do that there?
I read about that, but I'm not sure.
Oh, man, it seems like just fentanyl and just like there's a lot. Like I remember going to visit some family like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And like there's just I don't remember any homeless people or wherever like around where my family lived, and there was just an abundance of them, and I was just like, man, and they weren't in good shape. And this is like on the island. This isn't even like the mainland. The mainland's even worse. You know what I mean? So
I went to Vancouver recently, and there's like this one street, and it goes for like a mile or something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's straight up Skid Row.
Yeah.
Like you're just like we were in a car and we were going through, and it was like, Jesus, like does that guy have a fire extinguisher? Like he's just like, and you got the the hunched over.
Oh man, it's rough.
Yeah.
It's rough to see that. I don't know. It's not even like. It's everywhere now, dude.
I'm still getting used to it. Like, you don't really see that in Europe at all.
I, like, went to Oshawa and, like, just driving, got off the highway and drove, like, 5 minutes on one street, and I saw, like, fucking numerous people injecting heroin. One was on, like, or injecting something. I don't want to say it was heroin. Yeah. They were injecting something. One was on, like, church steps. So I'm just gummies, like, this is just fucking... yeah, dude, you know? I mean... Anyways, let's talk about something else. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
movies with aliens.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah. My top 5 movies with aliens. I had to think about this. So unordered, Alien, Ridley Scott, the first one, still holds up. Incredible film. I've seen it maybe over 30 times. I love that film so much. You ever seen Mars Attacks?
I have. It didn't make my cut. It was funny. That was like one of the ones that didn't make the cut.
That didn't make the cut?
Yeah.
It's got like a soft place in my heart.
I do like it. It's pretty classic, yeah.
Yeah. Arrival, I think is...
Oh, that was enough. I was talking with my ladies like, you didn't put that on your list? What's on your list? Yeah. She was so mad. And I was like, it's good, but like...
What's missing from Arrival for you?
Nothing. It's a great movie, but like there's just ones that I've seen more and like... My number... Like, I don't know. I'll go through mine in a second.
Yeah.
But Arrival's great. It is a great movie.
Arrival, and then what else is up there for me? Starship Troopers.
Oh, yo, that's a good one. That's a good one. I think that was the first movie I ever jerked off to.
Oh, because there's a shower scene in Starship Troopers.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, when I was coming of age, right? There was a little DVD shop in my neighborhood. And every Friday or Saturday, my dad would drive us down, me and my 2 sisters. My 2 sisters would always pick, they were younger than me, they'd always pick like a movie and they'd watch it on the TV downstairs. And I would go to my dad's room in the attic and my parents would like go out for drinks or whatever. And I'd always pick like a shitty horror film or a movie from like the 80s or 90s because I knew at some point it'd be tits. And I'd pause that and just jack out like a fucking madman to it multiple times. So the catalog of awful horror films and bad films I've seen.
With great titties?
Yeah. Yeah, that was my jam back in the day. But yeah, I remember that scene in Starship Troopers.
That movie's actually really... Now, when I'm thinking, like... I watched it maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. The first one. And like, I like it, man. I still like it. I don't know. I like the effects in it. There's certain... Anyways, you can finish yours. Was that it?
Man, I'm trying to think. Like, I was trying to think what else to throw in there. I mean, if I had to put in, this is a controversial one. If I had to throw in a Star Wars film, I'd throw in Rogue One.
Okay.
Just because I think it's the best one. For me, it's the best one that they've made. What's another alien film, man? Maybe if I come up with another one, I'll throw it on. But yeah,
all right.
I'd say I'm up there.
I tried to stay away from like obviously fucking someone could say Superman and I should just any of the superhero stuff or most of them, but I didn't. So my number one, dude, it's just cause when I watch it, it like takes me back to like a place in time, and for that time, I think the effects are really good. Independence Day,
Yeah.
I gotta give that my number one.
Yeah, with Will Smith.
And who else? Bill Pullman or Paxton? It was one of the Bills.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He's fucking. I was trying to think of one of the. Anyway, yeah.
Jeff Goldblum, maybe?
Is Jeff Goldblum
he's
in that?
I
Yeah.
think he's in that.
Yeah, that's like a Top Gun with aliens, right? That's just like
essentially,
America.
like it's very
patriotic.
It might even be
fires you
directed
up.
by Michael Bay. Like it's that kind of
yeah.
movie, but like it holds a good place in my heart because of like when it came out.
Fireworks and stuff.
The Fourth Kind.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind or Fourth Kind?
No, it's called The Fourth Kind.
I haven't seen it.
And it's I don't know. It's
What's it
packaged as like a real kind of encounter.
Oh, so like a Blair Witch Project with aliens.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. That's on my. I gotta watch that then. Is it good?
I really like it.
Okay.
Men in Black. It's it's all
just Will Smith films. No, yeah. The first Men in Black is fantastic.
Yeah, dude.
I think it's fucking awesome.
Man.
Yeah. Such a cool concept.
You know what? If I'm being real, I like the trilogy. I think like any trilogy, like as it goes on, they get worse. But I like how they kind of wrapped it up in the third one. I feel like a lot of people might not have seen the third one.
Yeah, I think I started watching it and then I just didn't have the stamina. Like it's Clint Hemsworth. It's Hemsworth and Valkyrie from the Thor film.
Oh no, that's a different one.
That's a different one.
That's a different one. Yeah, I haven't watched that one. That's like some like
Black
sort of
3.
like reboot one. It's basically explaining that Tommy Lee Jones was handed Will Smith as a baby by Will Smith's dad.
Oh.
So it like ties everything back to like the first one, even though
fuck.
Will didn't know it, and like there was I
gotta rewatch that.
There's some. It was a cool kind of I don't know.
It is ringing a bell.
Life.
Which one's
I
Life?
had Ryan Reynolds. I know there's someone else in it.
Is it
But
Jake
it's just
Gyllenhaal?
like them. It might be Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
like astronauts stuck in like the space station. Like
Yeah.
I saw the trailer for that. I haven't watched it. Is it
Some
good?
fucking sneaks in. I thought it was
Okay,
pretty
I'll
creepy.
put that on. Have you seen The Thing?
Yeah, I have seen the thing.
That
That's
was
a
my
good
other one.
That's
that was
a
my
good
other
one.
Yeah, that's very good.
And then this is I don't know if you want to count this. I counted it because I'm like, I mean, you don't see aliens for most of the thing, but 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I fuck with Cloverfield Lane so
Yeah,
much. I
dude.
love that, man.
Yeah.
And then even the sequel's really good.
They were all. I thought they were all pretty good.
There's a third. There's more. There's
I think
more
there's
than
three.
two.
I think there's three.
Okay. I love that whole universe.
Cloverfield Paradox, I think, is the third one.
Is that where they're stuck in a basement from the guy?
10 Cloverfield Lane is that one.
That's that one.
The basement
That's
one.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. Paradox. Damn, I didn't.
Cloverfield Paradox. You know, it's funny because like I can't remember what that one's. I remember being like, "Oh, it's dope," but now I'm trying to think about it, and it's like,
You don't know what was in there.
obviously not that memorable.
Have you seen Contact?
Oh, that one was old. That was what, Jodie Foster or
Jodie
something like that.
Foster,
Yeah, I
yeah.
have seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good film, better book.
I'm
Yeah.
big on. It's weird because I don't really like the Alien franchise. I'm not trying to shit on it. It's just like I'm weird about certain things, dude. And like
Yeah.
I never really. My buddy that I work with was like we literally talk about like movies every day that we work together, and
Yeah.
they have a new Alien coming out. And
Romulus. It came out. It's good.
Oh, it came out.
It's good. Yeah.
It looked good. It looked good, but I'm like, oh man, like where do I start? You know?
Dude, I think that with this one, you don't need any prior knowledge, really.
Yeah?
You can go into it fresh. It's fine. What they try to do with Covenant and Prometheus was obviously try and create some type of lore for it, some sort of all-encompassing backstory, which explained that, how they even went to, we were created by the engineers, which created this black goo, which the splicing of the goos with our DNA is what led to the xenomorph. Like, it was this whole, like, mythology around effectively just a monster film, which was what the first one was, which I appreciated. I like all that lore shit, but could have been better executed at parts, for sure. Yeah, just turn into a fucking... I love how suddenly we're just trying to break down movies, which I don't know if either of us are qualified for. Definitely
Probably not.
Yet. No. Yeah.
It's just about what we like, though.
Yeah,
really.
yeah.
The thing I think about, you ever had like a relationship ruin like a song? Like you guys like the certain song?
Yeah.
I feel like that's how it is with Alien, because like my mom's just white trash or I don't even know if they're together anymore or whatever, but like her last boyfriend, well, me and my mom's like my whole family's relationship's fucking fucked up, but like he had like a huge VHS collection.
Yeah.
And like he loved Alien.
Right.
And so now like I don't know, it's just ruined for me, dude. I just always see him when I just can't like
get over it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, fuck Romulus then. Yeah, fuck that guy and fuck everything.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
no, I want to give it a shot, dude. And like, you know, I have a kid now and shit, and like, I'm not a Star Wars fan either. Like, really.
Good, you shouldn't be. I don't think Star Wars is good.
I haven't really given them a solid shot. Also, like Alien, but like, just because it doesn't look like, even though I know a lot of Star Wars shit, like I feel like it's impossible to like just exist in the world and not know
without that osmosis of Star Wars.
But like she was born on May the 4th.
Oh,
you know, my buddy got her a little Grogu. Like she called like it's like one of her favorite toys. You know, and I'm like eventually.
But that's what Star Wars is for. It's for children, and then like adults are getting so angry about it, right? But it's like, no, man, they're just cooking for a different generation.
Yeah.
Might want not be hitting all the beats, and I guess that your heart is breaking, but like, let it go.
You still have, at the end of the day, when you're a fan like of something, like, especially something that's continuously growing, like that, or like I'm a superhero guy, comic book guy.
Yeah.
And obviously I have my preferences and my era that I like, but also I appreciate that like there's gonna be some younger kids that are gonna feel the way about the new stuff that I felt about the old stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, man, not every... Like, when people were fucking complaining about Space Jam. Like, these fucking, like, 35-year-olds, oh, man, it's not like the old... And I'm like, bro, it's not for you, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like, just fucking relax.
Yeah. I had that with Jurassic World.
Yeah.
When Jurassic World came out, I was heartbroken. Like, genuinely. Like, I was in the theater, and I was furious.
But they're not as good, dude. Let's be honest.
No, they're
like you can like them, but just the like, I don't like all his shit.
Yeah.
Just
the
you would die, bro. You're dead. You're dead. This movie, like, I just don't like it. I just thought it was a little too cheese. I'm with you on the Jurassic Park thing, man.
It broke my heart, man. Because that first Jurassic Park film, you hear that John Williams score the first time, you're like a 7-year-old kid. And it's a Brachiosaurus, and then like John Hammond, like all the actors, like the paleontologists and stuff, they look at the Brachiosaurus with you as a child, and the music swells, and you're like, oh my god, this is where magic is made. And then in the reboot, you hear that score again, but for the first time, it's just like a drone shot of a CGI theme park, and you're like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
you American parasites, you fucking...
How did the old one look better?
Yeah, it was, and that was I think in 1993, and somehow it holds up, and I don't know.
And John Williams was the best at creating that kind of atmosphere, you know?
Yeah, unbelievable track.
All right, dude.
Yeah.
Let's end with superheroes.
Okay, so this was a tough top 5 for me, because I think I have the same relationship with superheroes like Marvel, DC, etc. that you probably have with Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm an outsider looking in. I'm interested in like escapism shit. So like stuff like, what's it like? What would happen if Thor fought the Hulk? I'll watch that on YouTube.
Did you? There was a show that was kind of where they had like fucking.
Yeah.
I can't remember. American Warrior or something. Anyways.
Probably something like that. I like the channels that I would watch would kind of like break down like famous comic book series. There's very few comic books I've bought and read. Like Civil War was one of them. I bought Civil War. I read all the Invincible series, which I guess is like it's not Marvel DC, but it's
No, and I've even had honestly, dude. I've had people that like have said like their mom and stuff. Maybe I should have
really?
been more. Yeah, they've been like, my fucking sister, man. She had 3 kids and her husband died, and
I'm not gonna do that to you.
Shit.
I'm not gonna do that to you, Paul. Right. Don't worry about that. I could, but I don't want to derail this shit.
You can do whatever you want, man.
No, I thought about this.
Okay.
And I'm gonna give you Martian Manhunter and Silver Surfer as my first 2. because I just think they look cool and their concepts are awesome. I like how empathetic Martian Manhunter is and how he's just from a planet and he's lonely and he's kind of like the crutch of the Justice League. Silver Surfer, how he works for Galactus and he's like all powerful, I think is awesome. And he's just ripped and he's on a surfboard in space. I think that's sick.
Yeah.
I like World Breaker Hulk. I like how he comes in and just fucks everything up and also has this, was the king of a planet and stuff. So I like that comic book series. I like Blade.
Yeah.
Because of the first film and where the opening scene when he comes into the club and it's like this weird Berlin-esque vampire orgy and he just comes in with a katana and murders everybody.
Music's just blasting.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What a great intro for a superhero. And then Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's just such a cool concept. I think that's awesome, yeah.
I love, that's actually fucking
Watchmen. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a huge I think, like, every single Watchmen property is, like, top tier, and I think...
How many are there? I thought it was just
that you have... Book. Well, there's the original 12 issues.
The Alan Moore, he did that? Yeah.
Yeah, and then they have Before Watchmen, which has, like, each character has, like, 2 to 4 issues. And then there's Doomsday Clock, which is where they really kind of start tying it in with, like, the rest of DC.
Oh!
Which is really cool.
I thought it was an entire separate entity.
I mean, it started out that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's still...
How do they tie it in? Oh, no spoilers?
Carefully, man. Carefully.
Okay.
And then they have the movie that, like, fucking Zack Snyder did.
Which isn't bad.
And they have a TV show. HBO did a TV show.
Is that good?
And it is good.
Fuck, okay. That's another thing I gotta watch.
It's super solid. It was weird because, like...
Is Manhattan in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Fuck, who's the actor? But yeah, Manhattan's in it. It's really... There's some... I think Manhattan's the only reoccurring character. I think a lot of the other... It's more of like... The show on HBO is more on like... We're taking off from where that world was and just where it would be in the more modern life.
Oh, okay.
So it had like just grown.
Right. So like all the staples of the original Watchmen, those characters, they've lived, they've died. Right?
Yeah, like some people in the show like worship some of the older characters.
Right, Rorschach and stuff.
It's just well done. I think if something shitty would happen to like that kind of brand, let's say, I would be a little disappointed. Fucking great choice, dude.
But they're good now. Everything that they put out.
Everything is good. Okay. Everything is like 10 out of 10 in my mind.
I'll sink my teeth into that, dude. Okay, that's great. I love it because I've only read the comic book and the film. I've only seen the film. That's all my Watchmen.
Well, that's like that's the best stuff, really.
Yeah.
All right.
You got a favorite superhero though?
Oh yeah, I can do mine quick. I've done them. So Batman is my guy.
Yeah.
I like Ninja Turtles. I have to like group them in as like number 2.
Yeah.
Red Hood. I'm a really big DC guy. But like I read like fucking like I got Bob's Burgers over there. Like I have a whole bunch of shit.
You're
but generally
guy.
Red Hood, Arsenal, and Spider-Man, I would say.
I don't know who Arsenal is.
Arsenal is Green Arrow. So, you know who Red Hood is, though. Like, Red Hood used to be a Robin and left.
And then,
And when he left, he became, like, his own thing. That's kind of... Arsenal is Green Arrow's ex-sidekick.
Oh,
and it's just, like... It's like Green Arrow, but, like, more techie.
Okay.
You know? And, I like that. And there's some stuff with Red Hood and Arsenal that is, like, some of the greatest... most underrated comics.
You still buy comics? Like you go out and you go to comic book stores and you'll find the... Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I actually just got... I'm pointing over there because I have a stack over there. I just got some, like, of the last issues to fill out certain series that I have. So I'm like...
Oh, so it's like vinyl collecting, right? So
essentially, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I have thousands, dude. I have thousands.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I have a lot.
That's awesome.
And I did fall off for a bit. The pandemic was kind of the beginning of that, and then I started going again recently.
That's so sick.
All right, dude. Let's end with one of these bad boys.
Okay.
Oh.
I gotta pull out one too?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, God. Can I pick another one?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
It just said, what is a soul? And I'm like, I'm not ready to do that.
No, let's not end like that.
Oh, this is potentially worse, but I'm not going to take it. Fuck it. All right.
I'm actually going to switch. One of these is...
All right, we're allowed one skipper.
All right. Okay.
Do you want to go first? Both of mine are trash, but go ahead.
I feel like mine are trash, too. You want to get another one? It's like, what was your favorite candies as a child? Like, what the fuck?
Mine is what gives you hope. And, I'm like, fuck, man, I got to think about that for a second.
These are better. This one's better.
All right.
Okay. All right. I'll start.
Okay. We pick one out of the two? Or we
can do both. We can do both.
All right, okay.
I think we have time.
All right.
What details do you remember about your childhood home? What did you like about it?
So my parents still live in my childhood home. So the details are still there. Like I still remember them.
I don't know a lot of people that's like true for. That's pretty great.
Yeah. What do I like about it? I don't know, dude. I mean, it's fine. It's nice.
It's
got a nice little
fine.
patio. They put some flowers in the front, you know.
You're like, Paul, this was the one you were okay with?
No, let me try and think of something that's work. I like this. My bedroom when I go back every Christmas and summer, right? But when I go back, it's you walk in, I'm like, okay, nothing's changed. Like a little picture of me when I was a baby, you know. Mm-hmm. There's like a little mark on the front on my door where I punched the door after I got in a fight with my mom, and I was just angry. I was like, you know, and it's still there. There's a picture of the band that I used to play in. It's like a little time capsule, and some of my art when I used to draw on as a kid, it's still there. That's nice. It's nice to be like, oh, I was 12 at one point, and you forget that, I think, as an adult. So that's cool. What about you?
It's a weird question for me, because I was raised in like foster homes. I moved around a lot, man.
Yeah.
But it's weird. There is a spot in Toronto, and I don't really know what I like about it. It's funny. I went to like a show in like the far East End, and I was like, man, I'm really close to. I mentioned my lady when I was leaving. I was like, really close to my old neighborhood.
Yeah.
Just gonna drive by, and like as I was doing it, I was like just driving down the street, and I was like, why did I come here? I have so many bad memories of this fucking place. Like,
but home is like home, right? It just gives you a little bit of because you probably had some good moments there, right?
I like the people that lived around me.
There you go. Imagine you said no.
I lived really close to like the Don Valley, so like there was a lot of really cool tobogganing hills, I guess.
That's cool.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't the best one. The other one is better. That's right. Okay, you go.
I'll go. You can visit any time and place in the past or future. Where will you go?
Man. Okay, well, I just want to say I'm not going into the past.
Okay.
I would not go into the past.
You don't want to see a dinosaur?
No.
No.
No, I feel like I want to... Because it's just so... I'm so far removed from that. Like, it would be dope. Don't get me wrong. Like, fucking dinosaur would be sick, dude. But also, like, has nothing to do with me.
Okay.
You know, I'd want to, like, I'd want to probably go maybe, like, 20 years into the future.
20?
And be like... Is he still doing comedy? Or fucking, what's your daughter doing for a living? Fucking, you know, like I want to just see, you know, like.
So this version, so as you experience it, there's a version of you in the future, right? Which you're creating a new timeline where you're visiting yourself.
Yeah, anytime time travel's there, it's like, I don't know exactly how the timeline would work.
Oh, but there's you. Okay, you're Looperin'. You're doing a Looper stuff. Have you seen Looper?
I haven't.
Okay. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You'd want to talk to future self. Would you talk to him?
I don't know.
You'd have to.
I guess I'd have to.
Yeah. God, it would suck if he sucked. Right? Yeah.
I know.
It's like, oh, fuck, man, you got that face tattoo? Why'd you do that?
Like, no, I literally told my lady today, because she's like, yo, that vein in your head kind of looks like a tattoo.
But she gets it covered up.
Never get a fucking face tattoo. Yeah. I just want to see how it goes, man. I want to know if I'm trying so hard. Like, I just came from, I don't want to get too serious, but just came from some shit, and like it just turned my life around, and I'm trying to bring, I just want my daughter to experience a better childhood that I had, and just to find what she's good at earlier on, and just be passionate about things. Like, there's very few things that I would be upset that my daughter, you know, aside from like fucking porn, you know, like I just want her to be fucking happy. I want to see if I've succeeded in anything that I fucking, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. I don't even know how long I would go for. What about you, man?
Where would I go?
Yeah. You're going to see a dinosaur?
I'm going to see a dinosaur. There's nothing I care. It's awful how autistic I am about this. If I'm just going back, seeing it, just checking out the dinosaurs in some kind of like, if I've got the technology for time travel, I'll get some protective like floating device and just do a safari for a long time, just explore the planet. That's what I want to do. Kind of cliche, but I just fuck with dinosaurs so hard, man.
I dig it, man.
The worst. Yeah.
I dig it.
Yeah.
I'm not angry.
Hear about my soliloquy on
I was
Jurassic
to go back.
Park.
Oh,
yeah.
I feel like you're right with the Jurassic Park thing, though. I feel like most people, like, unless you're like super young, if you experience the first one, how they were supposed to, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you remember about a childhood crush? How did you show your feelings?
Oh, man, I was a nightmare when I was a kid. I think I developed really early, and I think I didn't realize that I was flirting, but years later, a girl in my class was like, you know, you'd come up to us and just like throw us around, like you just spin us. I'm like, oh, was I trying to fuck at 7? Was that what I was trying to do? And then, like, I was the first kid in my class that like, you know, was like making out and stuff.
When did you lose your virginity?
Oh God, this is gonna be awful. I think it was. I was 13.
All right.
I was 13 years old, and I shouldn't say this, but she was my age, and she was also. I wasn't her first time either. So I wasn't. Yeah. And it was truly, definitely one of those things that you do as a kid that you're like. You look back on, you're like, you were too young for that. Like we were in our parents' bedroom. I don't think we were wearing a condom. Popped it in maybe for less than 6 seconds, pulled out, came on her sheets nearby, and then just like fingered her sadly a little bit because I thought that's what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think I just like shook her hand or something and I was like, all right, okay. See you at school. You know, it was awful, man. What was the question?
Fuck.
Fuck.
How did you show your feelings?
Oh, fuck.
And what do you remember about a childhood crush?
Oh, so I barely answered your question.
No, but you answered a better question.
I got what I wanted to say off my chest, I guess. Jesus. How do I show my feeling? How do I show my feelings like as a kid? Just stared you down, really.
Just spinning them around.
Yeah, spin them around, yeah.
Kind of answered, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, back then, you're just awkward. It's like, I love you! Like, you just blurt awful stuff out at them, and hopefully it pans out. How about you? You had game back in the day?
way back. Yeah. Well, I didn't have that much game. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 17. My 17th birthday, bro. I skipped school.
Yeah. Oh, sick. Yeah, you have to skip school.
It was an event. But like it's funny when I was in like grade 4, grade 5, that's when I started like doing the boyfriend girlfriend thing. But it was so nice. It was so weird because like I would date this one chick for like 2 weeks, and my buddy'd be dating her friend, and then like a week later or whatever, we'd just like switch.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it was just
of
like,
course, yeah.
it was nothing because there was nothing serious. But I don't know. I would always try to
How are you on
plan
Valentine's?
something. Like I was big even like then, like something as little as like, oh my girlfriend would like tell me she's sick, and I get like a can of soup and like a single rose,
Oh,
and
that's
just
nice.
like bring it to her house, you know, and
Yeah.
just like something
The
cheesy
roses
like
in
that.
the soup.
Yeah.
I made this for you, babe.
So I don't know. I would just like plan things, and I like surprises, that kind
Yeah.
of shit.
I'm getting better at that. I like now when I'm seeing someone, I'm like, oh fuck, like maybe I'll buy him something nice, and I know it would be good if I just save it, you know, give it to them after they finish that exam or whatever they're concerned about. But I can never last. I'm like, oh, I bought you, you know, I got you this thing, and she's like, oh fuck, man. But it is good to be patient. Yeah, I'm learning a lesson of that now.
All right, dude. Well, do you have one?
I have one more.
All right.
Considering what I've learned about you so far, actually no, this is probably appropriate. How important is time with family? How much is appropriate? Which is a weird second part of this question, because it's almost going like, is it shitty for you to spend too much time?
Yeah.
Is it weird if you really love your family? I guess.
Okay, so what's the question again? Sorry.
How important is time with family?
Okay.
How much is appropriate?
All the time is appropriate.
Yeah.
Especially like right now. Like
You got a young daughter, yeah.
that's literally all I want to do, man.
Yeah.
Like I just want to. I feel like when I'm away, I miss anything. I miss her. It's all like for real. For real. There's this show. It's funny because there's this show called Kids Ruin Everything. And like it's a Canadian show, and the name is really weird because a name like that seems like it would appeal more to people that don't have kids.
Yeah.
You know? But it's actually very like a kid-friendly show, and I was really confused about the name for a while. And like it clicked on me like literally like a month ago cuz like all the things, and don't get me wrong, dude, I still love cooking. I still love reffing and doing stand-up, but it's like I like them all significantly less because she's in my life now, because I don't know. It's so hard.
Love. Yeah.
It's so hard to explain, but like there's literally not enough time. You know, I would love to just create more time or slow it down or anything just to kind of really live in the moment. She's helping me live in the moment.
That's awesome, yeah.
I feel like I'm trailing off, but have I answered the question?
Yeah, how much time is appropriate to spend with family? And there's not enough.
There's not enough.
Yeah, there's not enough. I think that's a sweet...
But like also, like, when I say that, like I have real shit family that I don't talk to.
Yeah.
Right? So I mean, like, and sometimes family isn't blood, and family is whatever family is to you.
Yeah.
You know? So I don't also feel like, this isn't the question, but I don't feel like I have to love someone just because they're family if they're constantly treating me like shit or just not good for...
Yeah, of course, yeah.
For me? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's no point. You don't owe them
anything,
right?
Yeah.
If they're treating you like fucking garbage. I think that's... I don't know how I'd respond differently. Because how much is appropriate? Is it important to spend time with your family? Yeah, if they're cool... You know?
Yeah.
Is how much is appropriate? As much as is reasonable, you know? I'm not going to be with them in the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'll be there for Christmas, and I'll drive my daughter to work, to school. She's not working. I don't have a daughter.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I think we're in agreement. Can you imagine if I was just like, actually, 0 time, family is bullshit. Yeah, fuck them. Send him home. How much is appropriate? As little as possible. As much money as I can juice out of him.
Menendez.
Yeah.
Yo, okay, so I fucking...
Someone told me about that the other day.
Oh my god, you haven't watched any of that thing yet? Okay.
Nothing. Yeah, Tom told me about that yesterday.
Definitely worth checking out. Maybe we can talk about it at a show or something.
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it, but I mean, it's also history.
Yeah.
I guess we'll wrap it up. You can tell these people know where to get at you, bro.
Instagram spit_bandit. It's a long story. I should probably change it at some point, but yeah, just follow my Instagram and cool. Thanks for doing
That's
this.
the
Paul.
main thing.
Yeah.
No, you're not really big on Facebook. Are you on TikTok?
I used to. I did a couple TikTok videos, and some of them did well, and most of them didn't, and it broke my heart. And I never went back on. And I feel like everything on there for me right now is that I have put out is incredibly cringy. So maybe at some point later on.
I don't even think it's worth like trying to like play within an algorithm that gives like.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. My lady has it, and I'm just like, oh, this is such a great one, and then it's like 4,700 likes, and then you see some chick where she's like. Just like she holds a bra up to like her on the shirt.
Yeah.
And it's like 2 million likes.
Which
and
video?
I'm like,
What video is this? Yeah.
What are we? No, but
Yeah,
like it's like I don't want to play within that. I don't even want to. That's not the game I'm trying to play. You know.
Yeah.
So.
That's a whole other conversation. But
Exactly, it is.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Like always, this podcast is brought to you by Neon Light District. Hit them up. Use code Pillow Talk to save 10%. And by the Great North Apparel. Hit them up. Use code Pillow Talk to save 30%. I want to thank Dimi for being here again. Go follow him. Really funny dude. Go check out that jazz show next time it's happening. Do you have one planned?
Nothing in the books, but
all right.
We'll put it up. Someone will hear about it, I guess. Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, all right. See you guys in 2 weeks. Peace the fuck out.
That was awesome. I think.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Oh.
Just under 4:30.
Oh, where'd you go? You had a little time tracker.
Well, I just had.
Oh, you want to walk right there. That was a lot of fun. Who you
on the 15th? Like legit, my next guest is like a pretty big Canadian wrestler. I'm kind of